LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Simtrax Broadcast. And we are here with the Bandit Racing League as we are seeing the drivers currently during their drivers' meeting here to go ahead and get ourselves ready here for the Echo Park. Here at Echo Park, which oddly enough, you know, we've seen here before. This is normally Atlanta Super Speedway, but Jackson, what's the change for the name here, bud?
Yeah, Echo Park, a new brand for what used to be Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's a lot like how Charlotte Motor Speedway used to be called Lowe's Motor Speedway. We don't see a lot of sponsored tracks anymore, so it's kind of cool to see it back on the NASCAR schedule.
All right, glad to see everybody joining us out here in the chat tonight. We're going to have a heck of a race out here, having a little conversation out there with Kevin Foster. He's saying that GFR team is ready to go here tonight, and he sounds extremely confident. The drivers who don't sound confident seem to be the ones that are being pushed. They are saying a lot of this track out here is changing up for the drivers. The next-gen cars are plowing through the turns just a bit. The front car is able to turn, but the ones behind them are not. And we are hoping we're not going to see a slew of cautions out there tonight, as it is going to be a fast track. Drivers, really, you want to keep an eye out for. Nick Nickerson, obviously, of course. And I'm expecting to see a little bit out of Benjamin Lacey if possible. But right now, I'm waiting to see, as we kind of hold our breath here, whether or not he's going to have the opportunity to come up with another win here this season. Seeing that number 7 is going on a little bit of a drought here. Honestly, Jackson, and when we look at this here, you know, does a driver like Curtis Yancey or let's say Connor Gibson have a chance of winning here tonight?
I would really say so. I mean, obviously it's a super speedway, so just about anyone has a chance, but Atlanta's unlike every other super speedway. Usually you're able to stay, more towards the back and just file your way towards the front near the end, but Echo Park Speedway, I'm going to say that a lot of times today. That's going to be a big problem, but Echo Park, you got to stay aggressive the whole time. You got to be always wanting to get to the front, because that's the only way you're going to be anywhere near the front towards the end. The field can get spread out, can get single file. Position matters a lot. You got to put yourself in the right place. And Connor and Curtis, especially Curtis, both very aggressive drivers. And at a track like this, where you have to be aggressive to make it to the front, it'll definitely come into play towards the end.
All right. Well, I'm definitely excited to see how all this turns out. Drivers here tonight, I've got to say, once we're at a super speedway, you would think it would be nose-to-tail racing, guys trying a couple different things out there to fight their way up to the front. I would say the danger zone is 8th place on back at a track like this, seeing that they've actually slimmed down this track from what Atlanta used to be. Now it's with such smaller curves, the new pavement out there, the next-gen cars, this is going to be wild out here. And I expect to see speeds 180, 190 miles an hour. Guys doing it no problem. It's just when they start to draft, the guy behind you has to be the smarter one and not push too hard or slide across that rear bumper. We've seen multiple times a few of these guys out there, drivers like Paul Wilson, Ricky Hart, guys who want to start from the back, shooting their way up to the front and just getting in trouble in the process of doing just that. Eddie Hagge is another one who's been in a lot of trouble, and we're hoping David Lakey doesn't get caught up. I know, taking a peek at the 84, pretty quiet tonight. He seems to be really focused on trying to get up to the front and being extremely careful out there. As we take a look here at our race info here tonight, brought to you by LAT Racing Oils for the Liquid Death 135. Obviously, 135 going to lead us to 135 lap stages. Only one here tonight will be at lap number 47. 70% fuel limit. We'll keep an eye on that fuel window. I think Jackson Knock will have a little bit on that. We get an extra set of tires, so 3 down in the pit, which will be melted down just a little bit by 78-degree track temperature. Fortunately, one fast repair here tonight. Dalton Kilrow will be watching as our eyes in the sky. I'll be your producer, and Jackson Knock, the wonderful act out here, will be the commentator next to me tonight. So right now, Atlanta, we're both going to do it. Echo Park Speedway here tonight. Definitely looking to bring an excellent race here tonight, and a lot of guys are going to be pushing up to the front. I don't know how else to say it, but when they get down into these turns, they get up to that speed. A lot of mistakes happen, and drivers want to look for the next pass. Now, passing is going to be limited here, I would say, by that red line that you guys see out there on the track. Down toward the bottom of the inside of all these turns is a red line outlined in white. Jackson Knock, what does that mean?
Well, at most super speedway tracks, the double line at the bottom means you cannot pass down there, but at this track, it is 100% legal. We're going to see cars going almost all the way down to the grass, especially on the front straightaway. You can almost make it work in the turns, especially at night, so I would not be surprised to see a couple cars passing down underneath that line.
All right. We take a look out there in the chat. The Street Boss out there said one of the broadcasters won this race last season. Well, definitely.
I wonder who that was. Patrick, you won a race last season?
Absolutely not, man. I'm so rusty behind the wheel. I'd be scared for what half the cars are doing out there nowadays. It's kind of battle back and forth. And don't say we're biased. We're not biased. Just a lot of things are happening out here, and we're going to see how these guys push their way up to the front. I would say, any super speedway you go to, anybody has a chance of winning it. We may see drivers like the 18 of Victor Weaver. He's got a lot of trouble out there, and he has had trouble finishing these races, and I think it's just due to getting in accidents and making contact with the wall. Pedro Leon, another one, the 07. His Ford is looking to kind of show up here tonight, but boy, has he got a long list of things he's got to get through to battle through that. We've seen drivers, and I'm not picking on Pedro or on Victor out there, but a lot of guys end up in a slump out there. You'll see them, they'll win one race, and then all of a sudden they can't get over the top 20 cars for the next 7 races. I mean, eventually it will break. There's no way you can stay back there forever, but it'll be just either the car, which I think that's how you ended up here with me, Jackson, or we'll see just track selection. Some guys are a lot better at the mile-and-a-half cookie cutters, or the ones where they're better road courses or short tracks. I mean, I'm better at running short tracks. Super speedways, man, it's a crapshoot. You got no idea. Road courses, you know the guys. It's always the same 5 guys that have blazing fast speed, no matter how much you practice. And I would say possibly tonight may be one of those nights as these guys just get these pit stops done, keep off that wall, not get hammered out there. I think they got a heck of a chance to win this race tonight.
For sure. Like you said, I suppose like I said, anyone's race out there for sure. Lots of drafting, lots of pushing, lots of teamwork as well. We're going to see everyone in their team calls. GFR has 8 people in their team call. I don't know if they're all going to be working together, but there's going to be lots of working together all night tonight. Probably going to see a lot of fuel strategy, a lot of tire strategy, especially tire fall off means a lot at this track. It usually doesn't happen at super speedways, but such a tight track like this, it does matter a lot. Now, we were talking earlier about how many laps you could go on fuel. Patrick's guess was about 32, you said?
Yeah, I think. We'll see. Depending
My
in
guess
or
is
out
about
of the draft.
Yeah, my guess is about 40. Most mile-and-a-half tracks, it's about 40, and this track is probably no different, especially the fact that they are going the same speed in the corners just about as they are on the straightaways, unlike if it was old Atlanta. So, a lot more consistency, a lot more letting off the throttle in the pack. So I believe we're going to see cars go 40, maybe more than 40 laps on field.
All right, we'll hold our breath, seeing that 47 mark is going to be when our stage is. I would assume with an extra set of tires, we'd see these guys have to pit before the stage, which could really mix up this field. Speaking of mixing up, looking out there, Budget Off Rides is saying, let's go Welch. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Mr. Cody Welch is not here. I do not believe he is going to be competing tonight out there.
Yeah, I don't see him.
No, one of the drivers from the original 785 crew will not be out there on the track, so he's going to be sitting this one out, which is really odd. Normally you see Cody Welch, even with about 10 laps to go, come back from 11th place and put it in a podium position. He would have a heck of a shot at it here tonight. Matthew Crockett rooting on the 43, and we'll hopefully get a look at that Liquid Death Machine as he is out there. Right now I'm waiting to check in on everybody out there in the chat, making sure Matthew Crockett, thumbs up everybody. Oh yeah, you tell him to hit that like button. I say hit that subscribe button. That way you can talk. Mailbox Media is Jackson out there. He's making sure he keeps up with you guys and roots you guys on. Robin Allen, I see what happened out there. I have never seen that happen before. If that's what I think it is, I appreciate you out there. I have no idea what to exactly do with that. Cool, thanks.
What did he do?
It looks like almost like a tip came in. I'm not sure.
Oh.
I don't know. I've never had that happen before. Huh. All right. What do you say we get to the starting lineup? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. LAT Racing Oils is going to bring us our starting grid here for tonight. Let's get this underway. Brett Guzik, yes, sitting in that number one spot right now. I think Brendan Guzik out there is pretty excited to see the 04 starting in the number one spot, and the 81 of John Osborne finally sitting in the number two spot. Mark Allen Bivens sits third next to Matthew Crockett. And we're going to rock through this. Brandon Jackson, Kevin Foster, Eddie Hagee, Paul Wilson, Bill Harkins, and Bob Berry rounding out our top 10. Moving on to Chris Passenger, who is in the 11th position, starting to his outside, Michael Ramos.
In 13th is Mason Flagar. 14th is Carter Phillips. 15th is Adam Tahan. 16th is Curtis Yancey. We talked about him earlier. 17th is Victor Weaver. 18th is Nick Nickerson. Benjamin Lacey is 19th. 20th on his outside is Zach Michaels. 21st is Connor Gibson. 22nd, Jackson Duke. 23rd is David Lakey. 24th is Dylan Castro. 19th is Benjamin Lacey. Zach Michaels on his outside in 20th. Connor Gibson in 21st. I already read all that. That explains it. Pedro Leon in 25th. 26th is Terry Condis. 27th is Joshua McQuiggan. And rounding out our field is the 28th of Ricky Hart Jr.
Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get this one underway. Grid is complete. Guys are ready out there on the track. Green flag is out. Let's let her rip. Past couple of leagues I've been broadcasting, it's been nothing but trouble here on green flag, but it seems everybody gets to turn one unscathed. Driver starting from the back of Ricky Hart has already shifted up 5. Awesome switch up for him as he's moved up to the 23rd spot. Continue on as the driver shoot down the backstretch here for the Liquid Death 135. Diving into turn number 3, still leading this lap, Brett Guzik in the 04 Ford. But Mark Allen Bivens shifting up 1 there with Matt Crockett. Notice the Liquid Death Machine. Mark Allen Bivens leads lap number 1.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens with Matt Crockett. Matt Crockett struggled on that restart, went back about 3 to 4 positions. Now he's back right up to second on that outside lane, prevailing, pushing Mark Allen Bivens with Kevin Foster right behind him. Brett Guzik was real fast, teaming up with John Osborne and Mark Allen Bivens, but now being left out to dry on that bottom lane. I think we're going to see a lot of speed from that top lane all night tonight.
I guarantee you that outside line will prevail as soon as we can get a little bit of heat into that track. Tires start seating in and guys are moving forward. I'm waiting for the silent killer out there of Bob Berry in the 75 Ford. He's already shifted up 1 to sit 9th, taking a look as everybody else is settling back into their original qualifying positions as the inside line shifts up just a little bit and then shifting on back. Victor Weaver gaining 4, sitting 13th. He's got a huge gap behind him, which oddly enough, that looks like Curtis Yancey not picking up the pace. He's sitting back and letting this race come to him. Very unusual for the Bass Tracker boats, and as soon as I say that, looks like we've got guys collected. Benjamin Lacey squeaks through, Connor Gibson squeaks through. Oh, man.
Nick involved, Benjamin Lacey involved, Curtis Yancey involved.
Lacey had just barely made it and then got clipped as he got through. Boy, Benjamin Lacey, good thing there's a faster pair. The worst part is he's going to have to tow. This is going to put him laps down before he can get to that faster pair. Benjamin Lacey's going to be a little bit beside himself, seeing that once again, this guy has gotten into another wreck. Not caused by him, as everybody races to the line to get back up to the pace car. This one started around Curtis Yancey. It looked like Yancey sent it down to the bottom, and then somebody rotated down the track. And I think what blows me away here, Jackson, is I just mentioned him not closing the gap. It looked like he started getting a run, and somebody came down to cut him off.
That's why he wasn't closing the gap, but I believe it was Carter Phillips. I think he got it maybe a little bit loose out of the corner, went a little bit high, then went a little bit low. I'm not entirely sure. Or plan on going high. Oh, no.
Yeah, Yancey gets out of there, but the 30 of Carter Phillips coming back up and just collecting the rest of the field. That is Nick Nickerson spun around. Looks like he doesn't get that bad. Does have some substantial damage, though.
Did you see Ricky Hart Jr.?
Yeah.
Maybe an inch away from the wall and an inch away from Benjamin Lacey.
Wow. Looks like Grease BB getting through there. It's close. Look at Carter
I don't know who
Phillips.
that is.
Phillips rotated down a little bit. Bounces right back up, and Benjamin Lacey hard into the wall.
Yeah, heavy hit for Benjamin Lacey. Here comes Ricky Hart Jr. all the way on that high lane. Whoa.
Yeah, at that point, looking at his speed, I think he's doing 140 miles an hour when he went through that. Wow. All right. Drivers down pit road. Right now, Connor Gibson on back. Currently still in pit road is going to be Carter Phillips, Curtis Yancey, Zach Michaelis in the number 12. We saw the Coca-Cola machine get a little bump there, and Benjamin Lacey, after a lengthy tow here, is hanging out. Right now, it looks like RC is crunching down, looking to see if Carter Phillips is going to be named the cause caution here. And we'll see if that comes back to bite him. Right now, I would say the Curtis Yancey out there may be able to get away from this. Right now, I think his race team just checked in on that right front fender. He's going to survive. Back out he goes. Bass Tracker boat moving. Zach Michaelis getting out there, and Carter Phillips. 59 seconds in the box. Zach Michaelis, 1 minute, so obviously no fast repairs for this guy. The only one that possibly has to use it here is Benjamin Lacey. All right, talk to me a little bit here. Dylan Nicastro and Terry Condis.
Yeah, both out before the race began, I think.
Yeah, looked like they did not suit up. Went out there and were not happy about their qualifying positions and decided to turn it in.
Not sure Terry Condis even qualified.
Yeah, I think he started him back. I know, he almost comes out here, practices, and either qualifies or doesn't qualify. We got to get that guy running some races here.
He's a starting park team. He wishes he could race, just the team won't let him.
What? What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, we need that beautiful paint job out here. Oh, boy.
One of my favorite paint schemes in all of Bandit Racing League.
All right, speaking of paint schemes here, take a look at Matt Crockett, our sponsor here of the race, and the Liquid Death Machine. Does not just run sparkling water. They've also got tea and more. Check out there on Amazon. Matt Crockett ready to talk about it, all he wants. Number 15 looking to have a good show out here tonight. All right, now I'm pretty excited.
They also have regular water.
Regular water.
I love regular water. It's my favorite kind of water.
It's just so regular.
Like me. All right, going green. This time by.
Mark Allen Bivens will be taking us to the green flag here as we get the Liquid Death 135 back underway. The 76 Chevrolet is going to lead us off. Moving Waiting on him, Matt Crockett in the 15 Ford. Brett Guzik getting the 04 back into play. And Kevin Foster, doing a lot of pushing during practice, is ready to get up front. He cuts down in front of the 81 machine, his own GFR team. And look who wedges in there, Brandon Jackson, the 99.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson said he was going to put on a show or go out in a show today. Told me that in the Instagram DMs, as he usually does. So the field is very spread out, going through turns 1 and 2. Everyone very single file, but now everyone's drafting back up to the leaders, bringing a double file once again. Brandon Jackson looking low, looking high. Will he go for it? Yes, he will. He's going to go for the help from John Osborne, and the draft from Kevin Foster. Now trying to make that outside. Mark Allen Bivens, still your leader. Brett, Mark, and Matt all go up to the high side, right in front of Kevin Foster. Kevin goes low to retaliate.
You gotta love when guys decide that is not a good idea. Kevin Foster gets the run, though. Almost leads a lap, but it looks like only beating by the bumper cover there is going to be Mark Allen Bivens. Diving into turn number 1, drivers getting up to speed and starting to stack here. Victor Weaver sits 7th and Jackson 2, and we've got drivers around. Here we go again.
Eddie Hagge went around. It's Mason Flagar going around a little bit later.
There's the third.
Connor Gibson as well.
I like how after the yellow flag, we got cars. Everybody's starting to square away, and then the 31 just still sliding
Connor
through.
Gibson into the frame. Eddie Hagge was sideways through the entire entry, almost all the way to exit. I thought he was going to have it saved, but cars just kept on coming in. Either way, not a lot of damage on that 90.
Hey, low folded
that
up there
damage
in the
doesn't
front.
gonna matter. Yeah, it's definitely going to matter here.
That wants to come in. Definitely fix that. There is a scuff at the driver's door as well. Looks like he's not going to suffer too much damage there. Let's take a look at our yellow flag here tonight. Yeah, I didn't give him a shout out from the last caution because I was hoping maybe we wouldn't have too many. Let's go ahead and bring in Perfect Shine Auto Spa, sponsor of our cautions here tonight. This will be our second one. Let's see what happens to Eddie Hagge. Let's see if I can get a better angle. Eddie Hagge, boy, there was Connor Gibson actually getting caught up with something else.
So Eddie Hagge goes around off the bumper of Bill Harkins. Oh, there goes Connor.
Now, why did Connor Gibson look like he was turned to start and then got spun around again here? Connor Gibson way loose into the turn.
Hits the gas, gets back on it, sees their wrecking in front, and
sends himself. No! More damage. All right. I want to sit here with Bill Harkins, and I want to see what exactly was going on in front of him right as looked like the 31 came down. Let's see. Never mind. Excuse me. The 97. So Bill Harkins has a run and tries to send her on 3 wide. Oh, okay. Osborne's up top. 97's got nowhere to go. And kind of hooks himself there. So they may say the 97 did this one, as he is the one who initiated the turning. Eddie Hagge could end up with 10 times more damage. It seemed he was able to survive. Awesome job. Everybody pretty much able to save it. 17 of Adam Tahan coming on down. Looks like almost a minute here in the box for the number 17. Connor Gibson.
Not good.
Remember, he got maimed as well. And Eddie Hagge, yep, he's going to squirt out of there. 41 seconds. Looks like possibly enough to pull out the front bumper and get him back out.
Yeah, that car looks almost brand new. Something that I would like to point out, very important. Ethan Sikorsky is our points leader after, I believe he might have been points leader before Long Beach, but either way, after Long Beach, he is our points leader, and he is not here tonight. He wasn't able to make it. He's actually in the YouTube chat right now, but big championship implications for Ethan Sikorsky not making it to this race.
Man. One of these times, this guy has got. I mean, I'm not saying attendance is hindering him, but man, I don't know. I keep having flashbacks out there of him at the Bristol race. I would, if I were in the playoffs, not want to depend on the last race trying to get in. I would like to have the points to where I'm like, all right, I got a pretty good shot at the championship if I do well in the last, four or five races, rather than by the skin of his teeth every round. And then he gets the chance to win and into the next round and just blows it. I mean, just, yeah. But hey, Ethan Sikorsky, this dude used to be top 18. I mean, we saw him in the back of the field. This guy is top 5. I mean, a lot.
Almost every race.
Every time, and it's really impressive to see how far Ethan Sikorsky has come. But he's going to be digging himself a hole here tonight, and hopefully we'll see him return. I'm assuming that's Jeans out there.
Yes, that is Jeans.
Okay. Excellent. Kevin Foster. We're going to be pretty excited to see the number 8 getting taken off here. Green flag is out. They're trying to make sure nobody's passing, and they are watching lane changes tonight. The guys are shifting around already. Brett Guzik is already watching the 82 here of Paul Wilson. Can't seem to choose a lane, top lane, bottom lane, back to the bottom. And rolling through, Bob Berry now up to 3rd. And this poor guy, he can't seem to get a break no matter where he goes. But hopefully this tonight will change his night. The Harley Davidson, number 75 Ford, sits 3rd.
Yeah, Bob Berry has a little bit of a run. He's going to look to go to the front. Now getting in front of 2nd place, looking for the lead. Bob Berry, I believe, going to go for his first lead laps of this season. Not entirely sure about that. Too. Either way, Bob Berry up front, exactly where he wants to be. Getting around Kevin Foster.
Yep, right now we are taking a look. Whoop, looks like Lakey is already blinking here. Boy, I thought he had that way back in Long Beach. Bummer. All right, looks like Kevin Foster gonna try to see if he can squeak by. Bob Berry, man, just not enough. Quarter of the car there as he wants to see if he can squeak in a lead lap here. Sitting side by side with Kevin Foster, Mark Alvin, sitting 1 through 4. Moving on to Paul Wilson, Chris Bassendrews moved up 5. David Lakey up 16. Brett Guzik falling 7. Matt Crockett falling 5. And Jackson Duke out there with the 7,000 votes. Driver here tonight has gained 12 to break into the top 10.
Yeah, Kevin Foster still your leader. Bob Berry going for it still side by side with help from that 18 car, Victor Weaver. Victor Weaver hasn't had the best luck so far, so finally up front where he wants to be. Mark Allen Bivens going to go low. Never mind, he's been low. He looked high, now he's low.
Yeah, looks like he's still going to squeeze in there. As we sit along with Victor Weaver, this is Brett Guzik looking to the inside in the Easy Go machine. Right now, all Fords here in the top 5. Mark Allen Bivens Chevrolet does break it up, though, as he sits up in the 2nd position. The 76 Chevrolet been hot as of late. Right now, he has led this points chase here for quite some time, and he is looking to continue and get back into it. With Sikorsky missing it here, it should go ahead and sling him right back in. Victor Weaver back down to the bottom. We move back up to Guzik, who's currently sitting in 4th. He's got to pick up a few more positions to get back to his original pole starting position, but looks like this is kind of how Brett Guzik runs. He runs toward the he starts in the front and then sets back a little bit, tire savings, and then looks to attack. But cars are bottoming out, as you can see the spark. 3 and 4 is just the same, and I'm waiting to see if this is any of the bottoming out on these next-gen cars is going to cause any steering condition problems.
Yeah, something I was going to bring up is especially, we saw there just a little bit, especially as the tires start to wear down. When it bottoms out, it loses grip even more. We're going to see cars start bobbing all the way up the track, especially when they're running that high side. Going to see a couple cars going to the wall in the later runs, as long as we can get some later runs. Mark Allen Bivens went high. He had help from Victor Weaver. Or no, that's Jackson Duke. Jackson Duke now sitting back. But either way, Mark Allen Bivens looking to go to the lead by himself on the outside of Kevin Foster. Out at turn number 4, Jackson Duke almost to the bumper, giving more help than Wilson is to Kevin Foster. Mark Allen Bivens back to the lead.
At number 20, led by Bivens. Jackson Duke following all the way up front. Not bad for a 22nd place start. Sits down in 3rd now as the fight on the inside. But remember, I said during practice that Kevin Foster was doing a lot of pushing, not a whole lot of leading. Right now, Kevin Foster, a little unusual, getting fresh air to the nose of the board as he tumbles up toward the front. Still, unfortunately, falling back, seeing if he can reverse the magnet here and get back up to Mark Allen Bivens. Already some trouble here in the back as I see Ricky Hart has shuffled back. Not one, not two, but 3 positions. He's currently sitting back in front of Bill Harkin. Eddie Hagge around the same area.
Yeah, lots of shuffling going around in the back, but let's think about it this way. In the back, they're saving a lot of fuel. Comparative to the front, Mark Allen Bivens, Duke, Wilson, they're all going full throttle this entire time. Everyone in the back, they got all this draft. They're able to go about half throttle this entire race so far. We're going to see that especially later in the run when fuel starts to become a problem.
I love how you bring up fuel because I want to talk a little bit about Eddie Hagge, Adam Tahan, our first couple of guys here in the back that are saving fuel, did come down into pit road on lap number 11 and get fuel. They may have enough that if you were kind of guesstimating about 40 laps, these guys are going to make it to the line. So if this goes green to the stage, they are going to be the ones out there in front gaining points as the rest of the field who have yet to pit. At least here from 8th on up, a couple guys kind of trickling in there. Matt Crockett, Ricky Hart, guys who have not pit still come down and get fuel. Now, question being, will the tires still hold out till then, or will we have another caution somewhere in between? David Lakey will be the one to find out here, as right now Pedro Leon getting really loose here with that.
Yeah, Pedro Leon on the bottom. We're going to see that all throughout the night. Really loose on the bottom, especially when you get on that red line throughout the corners. You got to, if you want to run under that red line, you got to enter real early. Does not work any other way.
Great. I've seen a lot of guys trying to enter back onto the track later on, and the car slings up and almost bounces, and it's hard to keep away from that wall. Right now, I think he's starting to figure that out a little bit. Leon rotating way up the track. That takes almost a full lane away from the rest of the guys looking to push around. And I believe Zach Michaelis already been in some trouble here tonight, not looking to collect any more trouble as he moves farther up front, following behind the leadership there of Matt Crockett.
Everyone knows on super speedways, if you want to go anywhere, if you don't want to be stuck, you got to go to the high side. The bottom's never going to have anything to move forwards, but it gets more dangerous, especially at such a tight track like this. Echo Park. It gets really difficult when that caution does finally come out. You have nowhere to go when you're on that high side. The bottom has all the flat on the inside that you can go to avoid, but on the high side, you're a sitting duck when a car's spinning.
Two biggest movers here of the race, Jackson. And I'm already looking at David Lakey battling there for his 17th position, gaining. If he could just get past Paul Wilson in the 82. Wilson does seem to capitalize on the inside line. Oh, Crockett on the wall. Looks like the Lakewood Death Machine already getting ready to turn himself into just that. Got to be careful here as a little ricochet off the wall on lap number 27 for Matt Crockett. Right now he's taking a peek up front as you see Kevin Foster swing to the outside as well. Currently Foster trying to hang in there as long as he can, but his tires are starting to wear down as he is yet to pit here tonight.
Yeah, like I was talking about earlier, especially on that high side when the tires start to wear, when the car starts to bottom out. Definitely going to see a lot of cars on the high side. Matt Crockett just happens to be the first one into the wall today. Zach Michaelis, like you were saying, he's been involved in an incident already today, so probably the perfect car to be behind Matt Crockett. He hit the brakes. He did not want any of that smoke off the wall.
Starting to get nervous because everything keeps happening around him. Mark Allen Bivens, Bob Berry, and Chris Bassett sitting 1 through 3. David Lakey finally getting an open break here. I think seeing how Lakey's driven to the bottom line and try to lead that inside line to a little bit of success here, as unfortunately it's being led by Jackson Duke that is unfortunately not seeming to show enough speed out there. I don't know if he's checking up a little bit, but the Lenovo number is Chevrolet gaining 17 on the night. More smoke here in the back, and we got trouble. Right now, no caution has come out, but a lot of drivers starting to back way off the gas here, and I think Brandon Jackson might have just bit the steering wheel, but that's how nervous he is.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson, I think, was the one into the wall. We saw another car off the wall out there in turn 4. I believe it was Curtis Yancey, but that high side's going to get more and more dangerous, but it's what you got to... Oh, Connor Gibson into the wall as well. Everyone getting in the wall on entry. Cars starting to push up. On exit, more cars into the wall.
Yeah, Looks like Haggy goes ahead and drags his side in. Notice how Haggy immediately finds the groove, drops down to the bottom. He doesn't want any more of that. And who is sending it up the center? That has got to be.
Oh, there they go.
Ouch. Leon into the wall. No caution?
No caution. Hard hit into the wall for Leon. We saw him moving up the track every single time when he went in the corner, and someone took advantage of that inside lane. He didn't realize it. Came just a little bit back down, overcorrected way into the outside wall.
Holy cow. Curtis Yancey sends it up the center, and Pedro Leon almost makes an immediate right turn straight into the wall.
Yeah, it seems Curtis Yancey, Matt Crockett, Mason Flagar are the only cars on the bottom that don't seem to be moving up the track a lane when they run into the bottom, so possibly some better tire saving, or maybe they've been on the high side this whole time where you don't have to steer as much and get to the bottom. The tires aren't as bad, but either way, all these cars sliding up into the middle groove from the bottom, definitely going to be very difficult to stay down there.
Few fans are cheering out there as Chris Bassinger goes ahead and takes over into the front row here, leading out front and actually stretching his lead there by a tenth or more. Right now as he squeaks out in front of Jackson Duke. Duke wants to take the outside line. Good block by Bassinger, but watch the 08. Jackson Duke wants to lead some more laps here. Is currently Matt Crockett in the Liquid Death Machine starting to charge forward yet again. More scrubbing off the wall there for Kevin Foster. Right now, Kelly Queel is tired of fixing the body work out there on that race car, so hopefully we'll see these guys slow it down a little bit. Jackson, notice how these guys are going through the turns. It is almost every lane is flying up and sliding up that track, almost an entire lane each turn.
Yeah, just completely destroying the tires like shredded cheese shredder, I should say. But yeah, this asphalt, although it's fairly new over the past 3 years, it has been worn down just a little bit. So these cars are really fighting that asphalt, and the tires are not liking it.
Not really close. It looks like there's a bump beginning to develop in turn number 3. As soon as they get in there, you give it about the count of 2-1,000 there, and they start floating through, and then you see a little jock from the car. And I'm wondering if that is causing some of the guys to come through the turn. Inside lane moves to the outside. Everybody floats up, trying to get out of the way out there. And now I do want to keep an eye out there and see if that is some of the situation. Notice the 08 right there. I'm just wondering, with a fresh pave, we shouldn't have any issues out here on the track.
Well, you know what? I like a bumpy track, especially at a super speedway like this. Possibly see some almost old-style super speedway racings. We see Pedro Leon coming back up the pit road. Bassinger saves it out of turn number 2. Went off the bumper of Mark Allen Bivens, I believe. Yeah, Jackson Duke back up to 3rd.
Very. Zach Michaelis in trouble again, as it looks like Victor Weaver finally calms his car down as well. Started pinballing on the way backwards. Everybody makes a little bit of room. He was caught 3 wide there for just a moment, but everything seems to settle back down. Remember, top 10 drivers get points for the stage. We're less than 10 laps away from that caution flag.
Yeah, these drivers are going to get more and more serious about getting that position down. Brandon Jackson, he was in the back earlier, now made his way up to where it matters, pushing that 19 car of Joshua McQuiggan. Trying to make something happen. He's the 2nd car on the outside lane, or 3rd car on the outside lane. Trying to get up to the front, help them get
Yeah, Joshua McQuiggan, a name we haven't said much here tonight, finally showing face. Started back in the 27th position. Currently, his Ford has been getting a lot of help there from the 99 car. Oh boy, Jackson Duke goes from leading laps to 15th and grinding the wall. Currently, that Lenovo machine is not getting the hint here. He's got to get away from it, or otherwise there's not going to be much car left. I still say there's somebody up here looking for a groove, and I say Brett Guzik is trying to look and see if Bob Berry can get that outside lane working here. Guzik will take the outside, and these guys are going to try to push their way to the front, but they're waiting on Bob Berry, who's patiently waiting with Eddie Haggy behind him.
You see the field now, starting the single file out in the lead. That bottom lane just pulling away. Can't seem to make it work on that high side, no matter how hard they try. Bob Berry up there leading it. Brandon Jackson way falling back behind. Not quite sure what happened to him. Almost looks like he's out of fuel how slow he's going.
Contact with the wall for the 99. Ended up slowing him way down coming out of turn number 4. He is desperately trying to see if he can hold on, and he is not. Lost the draft, so he's going to be waving goodbye to the rest of these drivers. Mr. Weaver, once again, a lot of time we're going to talk about this NOS machine as he is getting back up. Right now sitting 7th, taking a look for 6th. As to the outside of him is Connor Gibson. Right now, that's going to slow the roll here of Bob Berry, who was already starting to chug his way up to the front. I guess who's going to lead that front line here? That's going to be David Lakey. Lakey wants to see if he can square away a couple of stage points here, if he can. But right now, Brett Guzik has a big decision to make, and he's got to make it here pretty quick. Sticking with Matt Crockett, does he choose the outside line and have Lakey help him? Whoa, he thinks about it. Lakey almost gives up as he gets a heck of a shove here from none other than Curtis Yancey.
I think Brett's going to go for it if he has the opportunity. There he goes, up to the high side, trying to block both lanes. We've seen Brett do it before, but not quite there yet. David Lakey still a little bit far behind. Brett Guzik doesn't quite want to give up that inside lane, while David Lakey's still so far back. Stays low. We now see Christopher Bassinger going up high. David Lakey into the outside wall. A little loose off the bumper of Curtis Yancey. Curtis Yancey's going to get left out to dry. That inside lane still prevailing.
Yep. Right now, Yancey may have given just too much of a push there to Lakey. Lakey steps to the side, but after a beautiful save, not but about 15 to 20 laps to go, Chris Bassinger breaks it back into the top 10, charging right now behind Brett Guzik. Guzik looking to pick up the pace here. Here it comes, up to the front. Victor Weaver taking a look here for the lead. Right now, this is going to be Mark Allen Bivens to the line. And we'll see if who can squeak on by. Bivens is going to have him. And right now, Kevin Foster looking to see if he can help that NOS machine get up to the front. Victor Weaver, white-knuckled here in the front as he's got to maintain and stay steady for Kevin Foster to give him a solid push.
Yeah, Victor Weaver was a little bit sideways all the way throughout that tri-oval. Just has to stay still for Kevin Foster to push him. Kevin Foster is very experienced in all types of NASCAR motorsport, all the different types of tracks, so just has to let him do what he has to do and trust him. Victor Weaver, I believe, new face to the Bandit Racing League this season. Not sure how new he is to iRacing, of course, but still, gotta let him work his magic. Christopher Bassinger up to the bottom lane. He's gonna go for the lead. Coming to the white flag for the stage this time by Mark Allen Bivens. Looks low, thinks about it. He's gonna go it this time. Leaves Matt Crockett behind. Now goes high once again. Blocks both lanes down the front straightaway. 1 lap to go on the stage.
Captain of the Young Guns crew, Mark Allen Bivens, still continuing to lead this one. Bassinger takes a look here as he sits down on the bottom. Victor Weaver sits third. This is going to be a good points night for all three of these guys. Can they maintain without getting in trouble? Bassinger decides to take down toward the bottom. Quick move on the backstretch. Love the move that he took here, the number 1 Ford. Starting to lead here only by a fender. Here they come to the start-finish line, looking to finish this one out. Mark Allen Bivens bumps him out of the way. Boy, lap number 48 is underway here. Caution comes out. Mark Allen Bivens is going to have it.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens had that side draft out of turn 4, as well as help from the 8 car of Kevin Foster. He's going to win the stage at Echo Park Speedway.
Boy, this guy has been putting on a show. I've got, you know, I don't want to say anything horrible. Mark Allen Bivens got in a little bit of a tussle up, if you remember last season, with another driver out there. They got in a whole lot of words. There was some retaliation. This guy has come back almost 180. The racing's clean. He's winning races. He's putting guys behind him. He's making that car work here. And especially the rest of his team following along with him. I've got to admit right now, Mark Allen Bivens is starting to really set an example for the team and the rest of the league about what you need to do to turn your racing career around here.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens has always been fast, but this season he's really taken a charge. He was the leader in points. Ethan Skorsky is now, but we'll see after this race. Mark Allen Bivens been real fast just about every race, unless he gets taken out. So, you know, don't want to jinx anything, but as long as Mark Allen Bivens is keeps his nose clean, I think he'll be right up there towards the end.
Yeah, great job as we're watching everybody going ahead and single file on their way back down in here. Currently, it looks like, Ricky Hart making the quick pass there before they head down pit road. I guarantee he wanted to make sure he gets down if you do pass under pit road or enter pit lane out of order. It does, unfortunately, black flag you out there. As we are seeing guys 4 tires and fuel back out. I would say it's suicide not to take a fresh pair of shoes on the car here tonight. Mark Allen Bivens going to squeak out first. Christopher Bassinger, yep, he does make it second. Kevin Foster third. Matt Crockett fourth. Brett Guzik in fifth. Definitely a slow pit stop there for Victor Weaver as he drops down to ninth. Paul Wilson is eighth. I do want to take this opportunity to thank Jim's Auto Works out there for being our stage sponsor here for the league. We are taking a look at Paul Wilson, the 82 VIP glass, number 82 Ford. Right now, I love a little bit of rivalries out here. Something tells me Paul Wilson's looking to pick a bone out there with somebody and see what he wants to get going. Right now, I got to say, it makes the racing a lot tougher out there. Some of our pit stops pretty quick. I would say ones like Bob Berry with a 1275. That is a blazing fast speed. And now I think the Rainbow Warrior team would have been proud of that one. But we even have guys from Mark Allen Bivens to a 15 seconds flat. Victor Weaver at 17:23. Adam Tahan, maybe a little bit of body damage he had to fix. 23.5 seconds sitting there in the box. Now I would say some drivers right now, like Benjamin Lacey, are kind of hanging his head how this race is going. And I think he would like to have another opportunity to see if he can come up with any other way to fight his way up to the front and try not to ruin his night. We definitely grab a hold of the number 8 of Kevin Foster, who is able to squeak out at pit road in the 4th position. Kevin Foster, talk to me about this race, man. How's it feeling out there?
Man, pack racing, little mini super speedway here at Eco Park. The good thing is, I fell back to like 14th there with a couple laps to go, able to work my way back up to 2nd or 3rd, whatever I crossed the line there. But it's, you can pass. It's white knuckles. We're holding on for dear life. It's exciting. Hopefully, we're putting on a good show for the fans, and hopefully they're, liking what we're putting on out here.
Cleaning up the cautions definitely helped. I'm noticing a bump starting to get through turn number 3. How the car is handling? Because I'm seeing sparks from you guys bottoming out.
Yeah, definitely. You want to lift a little bit, go to maybe half throttle on entry there. If not, when you hit that bump, it definitely wants to get loose, and then you're going to chase the car up the track, and you get someone on your outside. That's not a good thing. But, hopefully the big red propane Ford Mustang can gain a couple spots here and be there at the end.
Kevin Foster, good luck to you and your GFR team, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
All right, Kevin Foster getting ready to get back underway. Caution is finished here. Let's go ahead and let her rip. Right now, Jackson, I see Mark Allen Bivens, Matt Crockett, Chris Bassinger, and Kevin Foster. Apparently, 2 drivers fell asleep during that restart here as we get back underway.
Green flag is out. Mark Allen Bivens way up in the lead. Matt Crockett right behind him. 2 cars we want to look at, Christopher Basker and Kevin Foster. They both got around Mark Allen Bivens there, or not around, but right up to him and almost around him right before that stage break. So definitely both going to be very important to look at. Don't know quite what I'm saying, but oh, 1 car in the back. Jackson Duke heavy into the outside wall through the tri-oval. No caution. Going to be able to keep it going.
Yeah, some drivers are kind of fumbling around out here. Brandon Jackson trying to see if he can hang in there as he's marching back yet again. We do hang up to our front 5 to 8 cars here. Some shuffling around right now. I am looking to see where Curtis Yancey's going to land here. I noticed Yancey started to pick up pace, and Mark Allen Bivens has been under fire here all night, but not as much pressure as he's feeling now. Crockett, Bassinger, outside line. They're going to go ahead and take over. And currently, Mark Allen Bivens is going to lead that inside line with none other than Kevin Foster sitting right behind him and Bob Berry there from the GFR team.
Yeah, Matt Crockett, we usually don't see, leading, especially this early in the race. So Kevin Foster with a lot of speed here at Echo Park. A lot of hope for the win. But we see him being very aggressive but clean. with a push from Christopher Bassinger, both still around Markel and Bivens. He's keeping up on the bottom, but they're making that high side work. Eddie Hagge has damage, so he has to stay in line and push that number 1 car of Christopher Bassinger. As we now see Markel and Bivens making an attempt to take back the lead with help from Kevin Foster.
Yeah, I was going to mention here, trouble on lap number 10 for Eddie Hagge, and he has returned back to the top 5. Not bad as he continues to churn. Up front, to his inside is going to be Brett Guzik. These two have had a little words here and there. Right now, he's trying to push around to see if he's got anything going. Yep, out there in the chat, Robin Allen is saying, hey, where's Nick Nickerson? Nick Nickerson is down in the 21st position. I think he's sitting back on this one. Let the race and everybody else deal with what's going on out there on the track. He'll be looking to attack later on. I guarantee you, a driver like Cody Welch would be doing the exact same thing. Hang back, let the race fold. If 7 or 8 drivers get caught up in another caution, then they're going to be in some trouble. But if Nick Nickerson, and this thing goes green to the end, boy, he has got a lot of cars to pass. And we've seen this guy shuffle through. But can he do it the Curtis Yancey way and get past 20 cars in about 7 laps?
Yeah, we can definitely see cars passing lots of amounts of cars at super speedways, but at Atlanta, as the tires start to wear down, it gets harder and harder to pass, harder and harder to make your way through the field, which is why you need to be up front, in my opinion. Oh, almost 3 wide. David Lakey looks to make it. Did not quite do it that time. Paul Wilson looked high. He backed out.
Wilson definitely puckered there. I know with a little, when you're trying to push a guy who's blinking a little bit, so he may have caught him a little bit crooked there, which causes David Lakey to start swerving. Not what you want to do at a super speedway. And none other than Curtis Yancey. Here he is again down on the bottom. Looking to see if he can follow behind the tutelage here of Ricky Hart. He's gained 18 here on the night. Ricky Hart finally showing face as he has been firing through. Remember, he just barely squeaked through our first caution out there between Benjamin Lacey and the wall. And can Ricky Hart do it again? Yes, he can. It's still going. Is he going to get caught there? Oh, no, Yancey caught him.
Oh, my
goodness. Hart lives.
No, Foster.
Oh, my God. The entire field was caught in this one. Eddie Hagge survives.
The big one at Echo Park Super Speedway was down the back straightaway there. Just about everyone. Yeah, Ricky Hart, so close. So close.
Kevin I could not Foster get the camera off of him. I was amazed by by the parting of the waters, just everything just getting away from him out there. Absolutely amazing. Looks like straight to pit road. For Mason Flagars, the 72 Buc-ee's machine runs out of beaver nuggets here. Down into the pit road he goes. So we'll see how this came about. Don't see anybody, at least with any broken toe links or anything. So it looks like a lot of people survived, just a lot of spinning out.
I'm excited to see this replay, I tell you what.
Holy cow. Caution worthy here of Perfect Shine Auto Spot for all your auto spot and car washing detailing needs. Let's take a look back there. This starts with Chris Bassinger, Bob Berry, Brett Guzik, Ricky Hart, Kevin Foster, Jackson Duke. That is just to name a few drivers that got caught up in this. Let's take a look. It starts from in front. Wow, what a shot to the wall. We're riding on here with Brandon Jackson trying to get out of here.
Just a minefield.
All right, again. Yeah, Kevin Foster looks like he gets hooked right there. And
then saves it immediately. And then gets spun again. And then saves it immediately again.
And then remember, he hits Ricky Hart right at the end.
And
right
then...
Here, clink. All right, let me see if we get a little bit closer. I think we can do better than that. That just gives you an overview of the entire field that got collected here.
So yeah, Kevin Foster gets spun right hooked into the outside wall. Heavy, heavy hit.
It looked like
Christopher Bassinger wanted to go down.
Yeah, who
Brett
moves
wanted
up?
to go up.
Oh, Guzik up, Bassinger down, catches Foster.
Damn.
Barry. No. Yeah,
Barry seems to get away fairly unscathed there. Everyone seems to be able to get around him.
Yeah, Victor Weaver ricochets off the wall. I think if he had held it up on that top lane, it might have been able to stop about 3 more cars, but that is okay. I mean, it's once the smoke starts flying, it's hard to figure out where to go.
Good job by Brandon Jackson by backing it down and getting through there unscathed. I would really like to see Ricky Hart Jr.'s on board, if that is a possibility.
Absolutely. We can make it happen. Let's take a look. Full speed here from Ricky Hart on the inside. Oop.
Oh.
It was.
Oh.
He's like, yes, I saved it. I'm still alive. Kevin.
And there it goes. Hey, Kevin. How you doing, buddy?
All right, gives him the one finger salute there and turns it around. Oh my gosh. All right, RC's going to have a fun one with this one. Like a few guys may have slung down pit road as well. And we will start collecting where our drivers are. I see Brett Guzik currently sitting 19th here. As everybody, I think, is getting ready to start restacking here. Pace car lights are out. And we are going to go ahead and get this back up. Find your driver, because this entire field is mixed up again. A lot of drivers came down on lap number 60. Some did not, chose to stay out since lap 49. Bill Harkins is going to have the lead here, the number 11 car out front. And he is going to take us away with Mark Allen Bivens sitting to his outside. Nick Nickerson, you asked for him, there he is, sitting third. Curtis Yancey sits in fourth.
Push Bill Harkins down the back straightaway. He wants to make that inside line move. Bill Harkins usually decides to stay away from the front, but finally going for it. He led those last 2 laps under caution, but everyone going to the high side, just leaving it for Bill Harkins.
That almost looked orchestrated. The entire field rotates to the top and leaves the 11 in the dust. Currently, yeah, that fresh air is all by his lonesome. No help from behind. I think right now Pedro Leon will be the next one to finally catch here, and everyone squeaks on by. Do you think this is a tire strategy call, leaving Bill Harkins behind, or is it not? Because Nick Nickerson is still riding on his lap 49 tires.
Well, there's always a chance they saw he had bumper damage, so they just figured he had front damage and never went to the high side. Once the front leader car goes to the high side, everyone usually tends to follow. So, maybe it wasn't malice.
That's 2.
Oh!
That's 3. Yep, Crockett right now is getting ready to give that 17 an earful here. That's 3 times he's tried to turn him. And I don't know what in the world's gotten into the 17 of Adam Tahan there. He got behind Matt Crockett. Bumps him once, twice, and then goes down the straightaway and tries to hook him again going into the turn. So right now, Adam Tahan got to let up a little bit and maybe take a little advice there from Kevin Foster. Let up and let it go, and we'll get back to it. Right now, Zach Taylor is out of the trouble he had earlier in the race, getting back up to the top 5 here. That's 15 on the night. And right now, still Foster Bivens, Brandon Jackson, and Nick Nickerson sitting here 1 through 4.
Yeah, always could have been an accident, but if there is any real beef between that 17 car and that 10, or not 10 car, what is it, the 15 now this season, right? Yeah, Matt Crockett in the 15. If there is really any real beef, Matt Crockett is not going to get away. That is not the type of driver to let it just happen. But he's not going to do it immediately. He's going to do it when it matters. So definitely be watching for Matt Crockett and that 17 car of Tahan towards the end.
A lot of things have changed out there on the track. David Lakey has taken it back to the garage, and Victor Weaver has taken it back to the garage. Mason Flagar, after 6.5 minutes sitting in pit, still remains down there trying to see if he can fix that car. And drivers that are laps down, Carter Phillips 21st, Benjamin Lacy 22nd, Pedro Leon 21st, and Ricky Hart. Yes, he may have ended up saving it and getting a little bump there by Kevin Foster, but Ricky Hart is a lap down. Which is really unfortunate out there. Spending 14 seconds down in pit last time, but spent 2 minutes and 8 seconds down the pit lane, so I don't know what quite happened out there to the number 28 Ford, but right now there's a driver there from the team, and he is back. I don't know if he's going to be able to recover, but Ricky Hart got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, Kevin Foster blinking really bad. We saw him almost completely gone all the way from the front stretch to out of turn. That made some issues, some stack-ups on that inside lane, but everything seems to be just about as good in order for now. Mark Allen Bivens looks high. He's going to have help from Curtis Yancey to the high side. Side by side for the lead out of turn number 2.
Brandon Jackson looking to see if he can help Nick Nickerson, make him, once again, the most winningest driver out in front. Currently, the number 2 Ford has been hanging in the back, but now he gets out front, which is a heck of a turn of events here for Nickerson. He waited for the big one. He got it. He avoided it, and now he's out there. But his pit strategy is going to be a little bit different, seeing these 11 laps differentiation between the rest of the field here. So we'll see if the number 2 can hang in there with the rest of them. Caught to the outside goes Curtis Yancey, 3 wide, and he finally finds a place to tuck in, I believe, right behind Jackson Duke.
Yeah, everyone's settling down just a little bit. Jackson Duke was up front there in that outside wall just about every time in turns 3 and 4, but still staying exactly where he needs to be. He looks low, looks middle, gonna go for it.
Boy, he's been bumping the heck out of Bill Harkins there. Notice he's starting to fold his rear bumper in. And now got to be a little easier on the pushing there right now. I think Bill Harkins just sitting there holding on to it. Now keep in mind, Bill Harkins has been racing with an injury here tonight. A little bit of a hip issue out of the Geezer Authentics machine, and he is still rolling top of the end right now. This is fantastic here. Right now, I would love to see Bill Harkins come away with a podium position. Could this be his night? A lot of people have been watching that number 11 as he takes a peek toward the inside, gets a breath of fresh air. Slightly cleaner than what he's getting off the 17 of Adam Ton in front of him. But he is still hanging in there, and right now I would say nice and quiet, other than the scraping noise he hears out of the right passenger side.
Yeah, that just comes with the car. That scraping noise is stock. But into the wall again. Rewind there just for a moment. Jackson Duke is going to take that position away from him. Curtis Yancey all the way back down to 9th. Pretty sure he was just up front.
A lot of guys pushing around as we've already broken past our halfway through. Mark Allen Bivens falls down to 5th here as currently Brandon Jackson, Nick Nickerson, Kevin Foster, all 3 of these guys battling for the lead up front. 99 cuts away. I wouldn't want to put Nickerson anywhere near any breath of fresh air. I'd have to block that guy for all I had. Harkins off the wall again. Foster. Boy, is he going to let his GFR team work with him here? Well, right now, it looks like Nick Nickerson, yeah, nice little shove to the 99. That's going to go ahead and send Brandon Jackson to the outside. And I'm sure he's screaming through the radio right now about what in the world are these 3 Fords in the front doing here.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson saw Foster was going low. He wanted to go low, too. Oh, into the outside wall goes Brandon Jackson off the bumper of Mark Allen Bivens. All the way to the back he goes. He turns. Oh.
Poor number 30. Finally tries to get out of there. Carter Phillips. No caution here. Guy's destroyed.
Probably should throw a caution for that. Well, I guess not.
Nope. And we got a broken down car up top here. Parts falling off car. We are waiting to see if there's going to be a debris caution.
And that fender's fallen off about 30 times already. There it goes. Still no caution. Might be the end of Brandon Jackson.
What does this mean for the cars catching up here? Currently, this is on top of our leader here. That's Brandon Jackson down to the inside lane. No caution. Yeah, I guarantee he's protesting that. He wants to have a caution. At least to see if he can put his race back together. And I don't think he's going to get one.
If Brandon Jackson goes to the infield care center, I think we'd have a good interview on him.
Yeah, that's gonna be hurting for him. We'll see if he can put it back together. If he can, I'm sure we'll find him down there. Little trouble here right now. Margot is questioning RC. He does out there, Dalton Kilroy. I believe he also streams his Twitch channel so you can see exactly what he sees. So he will actually go back to that incident and rewind it and see if he can find out if it was caution worthy or not. Really, right now, hats off to the 31 Snap-on team out there. Connor Gibson still dealing with nose damage to the front of that car and still sitting in 8th position. Fantastic job by the 31 machine as he continues this roll and more trouble.
Kevin Foster real sideways out of turn number 4, also off the bumper of Mark Allen Bivens. Same exact thing that happened to Brandon Jackson. Mark Allen Bivens is not messing around. If you're in front of him and he's faster than you, you're getting moved. Mark Allen Bivens not making any friends tonight.
No, not at all. Right now, Mark Allen Bivens sits in that 6th position. As there's a lot of guys getting shoved around out here. Right now, I'm noticing the guys that are pushing are having some trouble here. I'm not quite sure. It looks like somebody's getting ready to make a move toward the inside. Is that the Coca-Cola machine? No, he's to the outside. Holy cow, Michael Ramos.
Yeah, Michael Ramos up front for the first time all day today in that number 27 Ford Mustang machine. Up to 2nd, looking to make it to the lead. Got help from Connor Gibson, but still nowhere to go with Nick in front of him. Nick moves high. Connor Gibson not there to push him, though.
Holy cow. Right now, hats are off and people are swinging their arms around from Michael Ramos, filing up to here to now the 2nd position. Boy, is he in the hot seat now. He's got to put up or shut up. Right now, he's trying to see if he can get his Ford to charge forward. Most of them tonight, the Fords have been very, very dominant here at Echo Park. But right now, we're seeing most of them are taking each other out. Ricky Hart, Brandon Jackson, Benjamin Lacey, and Pedro Leon, just to name a few. Those are the ones laps down from 19th to 22nd. Are still trying to see if they can get back forward, and that's going to do it. Here it comes. Boom! Right now, Ramos gets his chance, and looks like he catches the Bill Harkins virus here. Gets in the front and then gets turned.
Man. Yeah, Michael Ramos, I was going to say, still looking for his first ever win in the Bandit Racing League. Could today be that day, but not a great time for Michael Ramos. But I believe he still has his faster pair. I haven't seen him involved in anything today. Honestly, that's the first time I've seen him at any point at all today. So hopefully still can get down there, fix that car up, and be right back out there.
Try again. Yeah, that was... Yeah, it looked like just another bad push here. And Ramos getting tangled up. He has already been down pit road 3 times here tonight. He'll be obviously visiting it for a 4th time. Let me take a look here at some of the names. Ramos, Yancey, Hart, Wilson, Hagee. Our drivers caught up in this one, and Hagee praying he wasn't going to get in any more trouble. And here's Ramos here. Let's see if we can get more of an outside look. Yeah, you can't tell if he came down. Like, come on, producer, figure it out.
That damn producer.
Oh, came across the nose there of Nickerson.
Yeah, when we saw that in-car camera, it looked like he just gave up with the wheel. There was no counter steer. There was nothing with the throttle. Didn't move his wheel the moment he started to get turned. Not entirely sure why. Obviously, you know, like I was talking about a while ago, you know, usually when you start to spin these cars, you do want to let go of just about everything, but you still usually see just a little bit of movement in the wheel when someone starts to go around, a little bit of freaking out, but started to go around, wheel just stayed straight.
Boy, like a homing missile straight into Bivens.
I believe there's a new damage model for these next gens. I might be wrong, but it looks different than it usually does, but it looks pretty good.
So how did Hagee get damaged?
Right there.
Oh, man. Clink.
What are we doing?
And poor Bob Berry, too. This guy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing he can do. Nothing but trouble. Harley Davidson machine. Right now learns what happens when you go woke. Boom! Round he goes. Flying backwards. That was close. I thought he had a draft partner trying to do a little bit his best impression of Talladega Nights there. Alrighty. Perfect Shot Auto Spa bringing you our caution replay once again. We check in on Ramos. Yes, you wouldn't believe it. This guy's getting ready to line back up in the 7th position. Josh McQuiggan sitting 8th. John Osborne 9th. I think Adam Tahan. Don't take my word for it. I think Brett Guzik is going to be our guy in 10th. As what a race. 85 laps complete here. We are seeing everybody stack up yet again. Tell you what, we're getting plenty of replays here as the pace car lights are out. Hope you guys don't mind as we get as many different angles as we can of the wreck and kind of different perspectives. Guys getting scooting around.
Victor Weaver is out of it. He had connection issues, kicked him off the server.
Go.
That sucks.
Uh-oh, Robin Allen. Yep. No, RC's not getting political. All right, Nickerson, Michaelis, front row, green flag. Let's let her rip.
Yeah, Nick Nickerson leading us into turns number 1 and 2. Finally, the control car. I'm pretty sure that's the first time he's been the control car all race. I might be wrong about that, but Mark Allen Bivens was taken out in that last crash. He's all the way in the back.
What in the
Caution,
world?
flag waves. Jackson Duke around out of turn 2.
Huh. What caused him to do that? That looked like it was pretty simple. Was it a self-spin? Nope.
No. Almost had it. Almost had it. You got to let go. Almost had it again. Finally goes around.
Ow. That was an easy one. Could have been worse, I guess.
Yes, it'd be a little bit of contact between Curtis and Duke. I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
Yeah, I can see if we can get something a little bit narrowed down of what happened to these two. Who's that? Yancey again? That's Bob Berry working his way out of pits. I saw that. And, whoop. All right, Jackson, whose fault?
I would say Yancey. Sends it down the bottom. Car gets a little bit tight, goes up into the 08. I think the 08 comes down a tiny bit, half a lane, and Curtis goes up half a lane. Honestly, I wouldn't put fault on anyone. I'd say that's a racing incident.
Attaboy. I want to see one more angle here is trying to find Duke and see if I can find something where we're looking backwards at him. See, is this net code here?
Nope.
Nope, pretty close, so it looked like it was going to make contact.
Yeah, he turned sideways, turned that wheel sideways real fast, had it saved. Mark Allen Bivens comes in, no care in the world.
Boy, look at pit road, though. Eddie Haggy, Curtis Yancey, Connor Gibson. I believe, yes, Bob Berry back down in the pit. Pedro Leon, 8 minutes down here. Carter Phillips still down here. Mason Flagar, still in pit. So Nickerson coming down to lap number 84. This works out really well for him now. But this is going to put almost half the field down a lap. If they can't get back to it. Revisiting down pit road is going to be John Osborne and Brandon Jackson, who looks like he played chicken with the commitment cone. Wow. What a turn of events here. Two wrecks that caused a lot of trouble.
And hey, you know what? Brett Guzik, right back up to that 5th spot, like you said, where he likes to be.
This is crazy. Matt Crockett sitting at 7th here on the inside line. Ramos on the outside. 19 of Josh McQuiggan. Oh, Lakey. Look at that. Field of 28 cars. I'm down to the last. Here's John Osborne. Not 11 here. They're still surviving. All right.
Brandon Jackson is back on lead lap under this caution.
Poor Benjamin Lacey, early crash, has yet to be able to get back on. As lap number 4 is when he was kind of wiped out there. All right, let's get going. Currently, the number 11 got to be hard on the gas. Got Kevin Foster to his outside. Brett Guzik starting to the inside with him. Guzik pushing.
Not leaving Bill out to dry this time.
Harkin's hanging in there. I guarantee he's going to be looking to leave a little bit of space, though. He doesn't want to get into any pileups here. Harkins is hanging behind Kevin Foster. Michaelis sits in second, following behind Nick Nickerson. Nickerson going to lead a few laps here. I don't think anybody's going to really challenge him until later on.
Yeah, still single file for the lead. Bill Harkins looks to go high, hopes someone will come and help him. Brett Guzik too far away, though. Trying to do it by himself. Benjamin Lacey down there on the apron.
Trying to see if he can insert himself back in. Currently, some of these guys with a little less damage are starting to shoot up to the front. Currently seeing the number 31 there of Connor Gibson. Connor Gibson actually running in the 11th position. Got a few lap cars he's got to get around now. Barry in front of him. Barry is up here with the 17 car, who's currently riding in 10th. So Barry came out there like a cannon. He is working his way up to the front because I guarantee you Mark Allen Bivens, who has led a bunch of laps here tonight, is down 2.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens going to have to do a lot of work to get back on the lead lap. Luckily, he is in front of Bob Barry. He's got to stay in front of him for just one more caution, then he'll get one lap down, and luckily no one else he has to fight against. He'll be the only car one lap down. But no way to make up your lap under green flag here at Atlanta. Echo Park. Just not possible. But Bill Harkins still in 3rd. McQuiggan pushing him.
Nickerson leading this race, though. A lot of guys, I see at least 10 that want to pass him. Right now, the number 2 Ford out in front. Everybody hanging back just a little bit now. Currently looking at about 40 laps left to go here. Nickerson, Michaelis, Foster, Bill Harkins sitting in 4th. Joshua McQuiggan is 5th. We're on back to Adam Tahn, who's currently watching Bob Barry, a lapped car, driving by these guys. And right now, Mark Allen Bivens as well. Currently, they want to fight up here for the lead. Whoop, Tahan, where'd you go? There you are. Little blink out there. Chris Bassinger currently sitting in 7th. John Osborne fighting out back up to 8th. Curtis Yancey is 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is going to go to Brett Guzik. Right now, Guzik still fighting it up front. He was sitting 5th at the restart, drops back down to 10th. He's going to let Yancey go by on the inside, as well as Brandon Jackson. Jackson's got the run here, and Guzik seemed like he chose to take the outside line, but now I'm wondering if he's regretting it.
Yeah, it does not seem to be working out for him, especially with the fact that he's got David Lakey still slightly blinking in front of him every now and then. Got to make it a little bit difficult to run that high side cleanly and safely. Bob Barry and Mark Allen Bivens both fighting for that lucky dog spot. Both got to get back on lead lap. Bob Barry had a good chance near the start, so did Mark Allen Bivens. Both of them have been front runners and contenders. Just got to get back up there.
Yeah, this is crazy right now. Obviously, it looked like Sikorsky out there hanging on the edge of his seat to find out if he is going to continue leading it here.
Oh, Matt Crockett goes around in the back. Will he save it? He goes down to the apron. No caution waves.
Dude. Caution's still not out here.
Be no caution for Matt Crockett. He's going to go down into pit road. He's going to go a lap down.
Deep breath for a lot of the drivers out here. As Matt Crockett spins around, that's now going to knock him down a lap. Which, oddly enough, is going to change this up a whole lot here. Crockett comes down pit road. You see the drivers way out there in the back. So now that puts him a lap down. Hopefully no caution. Because remember, they've got to get him beyond 2 laps to go ahead and see if they can keep going.
Yeah, now it's going to be a fight between Mark Allen Bivens, Bob Berry, and Matt Crockett for that lucky dog position.
Right now, this is a crazy race to be calling here. Currently, the GFR team doing a heck of a job. Currently, Nick Nickerson leading this race. Kevin Foster from the GFR team is sitting 3rd. John Osborne from the GFR team sitting in 5th. Right now, this is a huge night for them, and Kevin Foster called it. He said, we're going to be the ones to beat here tonight, and that is exactly what they're doing. I just wish they could get a few more of their guys up there, like Bob Berry. Unfortunately, he was wiped out there. Benjamin Lacey, way early into the race, was wiped out as well. But Zach Michaelis sitting in 2nd. So you want to talk about crazy. 1, 2, 3, and 5 are currently from the GFR team, and this is a way you overtake, especially at a track like this, and in the points running.
Yeah, all of them not even trying to pass each other, just running that bottom lane, pushing each other, making sure nobody can get around. They want to be the ones up front towards the end. It's got to be in between one of those cars in the top 5 in order for them to be happy, other than Joshua McQuiggan, of course.
All right, I do want to float something out there. Any idea what happened to Bill Harkins? Currently has dropped out of the race here. 17th, and he is going backwards. I don't know if something's happened to him. Currently, I'm showing his car taken to the garage.
Oh, man. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything. Oh, Kevin Foster. Not Kevin Foster. Curtis Yancey into the outside wall. It's outside wall once again. Tahan sent him in. Ooh. Sideways down the front straightaway. Caution flag comes out. Heavy hit into the outside wall for Curtis Yancey. Off the side of Tahan. I believe Curtis Yancey used his fast repair already early in the day. He's got a bent toe link as well as a broken one. Curtis Yancey might be out of it.
Oh, man. Bill Harkins losing internet here. He said the storm just got him. I am barely ducking one myself. Not good. And the 51 machine of Curtis Yancey getting almost the same treatment here. Yancey may have been taken out here. As currently, Yancey is in and out of the garage there. I don't know if he's real happy with what happened out there. We'll take a look and see what happens to Curtis Yancey. Come on, you. Yancey off the wall.
Gets into the wall mid-corner. Tahan looks low. Curtis just keeps going low. About 2 feet of lag there. Net code.
Wow, that wasn't...
Not...
Yeah, I can't... The only person Yancey should be mad about is the developer who thought that was close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. He did a great job there making it on. Wow. Rough time here. Rough time. Curtis Yancey. Now, I do want to take a peek at Matt Crockett and what caused him to end up spinning out here. Because Crockett, oof. Yeah, something between him and I'm trying to see what happens because it looked like
he was sideways the entire exit of the corner all the way down the back straight away.
Yeah, look, take a look because I think even Haggie's involved here. Haggy to Crockett.
Yeah, I think Matt went down just a little bit. Sideways once, sideways twice. A little bit of netcode help from Jackson Duke. Not really hitting him, but on his screen he did.
Not enough to cause a caution. That's
yeah,
crazy.
back and forth, back and forth.
What do you say we take a look at something even crazier? Coming down pit road is our leader, Nick Nickerson, leaving Josh McQuiggan, Brandon Jackson, Connor Gibson, and I believe Chris Bassinger. They're not coming down into pit road. Gutsy call here. Alrighty. Night, Bill. Sorry to see your night kind of get wiped out like that. You had a heck of a run. It's definitely rolling on there. I wish Bill a speedy recovery there, and hopefully everything is A-okay with the man, the myth, the legend from Geezer Authentics. Well, I've done it now. What am I going to do to get Robin? And stop talking about hips. God. All right, drop it. All right, Brett Guzik certainly looks like he'll be resettling back into the 10th spot. Looks like most people are 4 tires and fuel. Some did not. John Osborne, fuel and go. Ramos, fuel and go. Nick Nickerson taking care of those tires up front, as he only does a fuel and go. I think everybody may have been taking that extra set of tires here. Right now, drivers like Benjamin Lacey not pitting. Looking to see if he can get at least one of his laps back, waiting for the wave around. He desperately needs Benjamin Lacey down about 3 laps here.
Yeah. Nick Nickerson, like you said, possibly taking care of tires. When you're in the lead, you don't have a lot of dirty air. There's almost no wear to your tires when you're in the lead comparatively to every single person behind you. So with Nick leading all those laps, his tires are still probably pretty good.
Yeah. And I would say, remember, he only came down on lap number 49 while everybody else came down on 60, and he was still leading the race with an 11-lap difference. So, yeah, if I were him, I'd probably let it go. All right, so looks like these guys are not going to get the wave around here, as 4 drivers stayed out. The 19 Ford, the 99 Ford, the 31 Chevrolet, and the number 1 Ford out there of Chris Bassinger, our 2 front rows here. Yeah, this is a little talking right there. Yeah, Connor Gibson kind of watching these 2 go at it in front of him. Right now, as they start bumping doors, right now, I guarantee you they are working a little bit of magic here, seeing what, if he can definitely shake him up. McQuiggan down there with Yar and Ricardo Bernal out there with the number 50 spotting for him. Yeah, Victor Weaver says down and out. Sim bugged out on him. Bugger. Wow. All right. See how this undoes here. Kind of see how it plays out. I could be sticking to the plan. McQuiggan, Jackson, Gibson, Bassinger here. Ooh, little shaky start there by McQuiggan.
Yeah, McQuiggan got a little bit too hard on the gas, or possibly that bump from Connor Gibson messed him up just a tiny bit. Brandon Jackson, without jumping, gonna get to the lead, now to the bottom.
Yeah, expect the number 2 to be coming into play here. Notice he's starting to push the 31. 31 runs up high. Nickerson gives him a nudge. Snap-on machine starting to move up front. And now Ramos watching this all from the back here, looking to see if he can get Bassinger going. 27 already been in some trouble here tonight. I think he's already used his fast repair. Right now he's on borrowed time. Last time he got up this high, he ended up getting in a huge wreck to the big one. Ramos trying to squeak on through. There's the move. Kevin Foster shifts up. And now Nick Nickerson looking to get a breakaway here. Currently, John Osborne, Kevin Foster behind him, and they are trying to get the GFR team clumped back together, and I guarantee you, if they decide to take a lane, they will. Outside lane taking a look. There's Nickerson and John Osborne doing just that, and Connor Gibson might get the ride of his life here, as currently Nickerson is taking a look to the outside, but enough shifting like that, we're going to end up back back under caution, and hopefully that doesn't happen. I would love to see this go green all the way in here, Jackson.
Yeah, Nick Nickerson back out to the outside. Connor looks like he wants to go with him. Nick was just showing Connor that he was willing to go anytime he wanted to. Michael Ramos looked like he wanted to on the high side earlier, but then now sticks to the bottom to get around Connor Gibson and Nick Nickerson. No one helping them. Bad pushes from Connor Gibson and Nick. Now both of them going to get left out to dry. John Osborne hard into the outside wall that time around.
Yeah, John Osborne almost looked like he had target fixation there. I thought he could have saved it, but tons of speed straight into the wall to the safety barrier. Knocked back just a little bit more as we got less than 25 laps to go here as they got 24 at the line. McQuiggan sitting in second. Brandon Jackson looking away to come away with the win. Very loud during practice that he was going to take and steal the win from these guys. He's doing just that. Only person hanging out with him in the Bandit Lounge currently is Pedro Leon. And Pedro down and out here tonight. So right now, I would say Pedro may be doing a little spotting for him out there. Down the road for the last 25 minutes. Currently, Curtis Yancey looking to definitely cause a ruckus up here up front. Michael Ramos in front of him. Ramos starting to sweep back and forth. And we know how Yancey drives. It's to the floor or nothing. And he is looking to see if he can find a gap in his game. And he's going to see if he can fire on through.
Yeah, Michael Ramos going to find a gap in Josh McQuiggan's game. But Curtis, like you said, not going to back off. Brandon Jackson goes back low. He looked high. Big shove going into turns number 3 and 4. He's going to be able to keep control of it. Michael Ramos and Curtis Yancey now separating as they head into the tight corner. But now down the straightaway, 5 cars under a blanket, all pushing each other down the front straightaway.
As they get all single file here, Connor Gibson and Nick Nickerson have got to make a decision here whether that outside line is going to work or not. Mark Allen Bivens down a couple of laps here, starting on the inside. Could he be trouble? Notice how he is working up front. Huge run down the backstretch as he follows in and files in behind the 17 of Adam Tahn, currently holding in 4th. But the 19, Josh McQuiggan, noticing he's made a mistake, went from 2nd, now unfortunately falling to 5th. Lap car passing him. Outside line is just not working right now. Nickerson gives up on it, moves to the bottom.
Yeah, Connor Gibson was not going low enough for what Nick wanted him to do, so Nick finally gave up on it. Instead of turning Connor Gibson, he went low. Now Connor Gibson working with Joshua McQuiggan, which is working out a little bit better for him. Seem to be running about the same line as Curtis Yancey and Michael Ramos both go to the high side as well.
Drivers all starting to clump together again. Don't keep in mind that Brett Guzik sitting all the way back there in 11th. Is watching this happen. Got a few lap cars he's got to shuffle through if he wants to get up to the front. We've seen him do it before, but look at Nickerson. Nickerson giving a huge shove to the 31. That's going to get Yancey moving. Yancey now moving up front, pushing the 27, and Ramos continuing to charge back up to the guys who are leading this race. But oddly enough, not leading this race is Mark Allen Bivens, but he remains in that kind of a position. If he were to lead lap, he'd be currently sitting 2nd. So right now, you said you can't get a lap back here at Atlanta. Right now, Mark Allen Bivens looking to prove you wrong.
He's going to try, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it all the way back around by himself. But either way, Mark Allen Bivens looking to take the more of an honorable lead, but he's going to go back down to just about fake 5th. But that is Tahan now blinking in front of the field. Going to be able to stay ahead of Brenton Jackson. Down the front straightaway they go. Tahan, still your leader.
Good Lord. If you were looking for a scary place to start blinking, number 1 position is it. Brandon Jackson, watching that 17, are all over the place and not quite sure where he's going to be next. McQuiggan sits 3rd, Ramos 4th, Yancey in 5th as Yancey shuffles down to the bottom line. Remember, he had some success on the top line, but now decides not to do it. Jackson Duke there with 7,000 Motorsports, currently sitting in 7th. Zach Michaelis will be into his inside, and Nickerson looking to start doing a little bit of that snow plowing. He is finding drivers in front of him and either move or get out of the way. You can see what happened to the 31 there. Little shove from the number 2. If you can't hang, out you go.
Yeah, usually in the last 15 to 20 laps is when you're going to really want to start getting going, especially at a super speedway like this. Super hard to pass. Only about 2 lanes that work. He wants to move. Nick Nickerson just stuck behind everyone. Cannot make it work. Trying to find a lane.
All right, few things to take into account here. Most guys have enough fuel and tires to make it to the end, except two. Brandon Jackson came in on lap number 89 and Josh McQuiggan on 85. They are right now going to be sucking fumes if they can make it to the line. I don't think they'll have enough for a burnout if they can make it. Chris Bassinger, another one out there, came in last time on lap number 84. Currently, they are caught up in this field, and right now they have not taken tires, they have not taken fuel, and the guys who have are dealing with a lot more weight trying to shuffle through these turns, and they will be able to outlast our guys who decided not to come down and pit. Nickerson finally finding a groove here, moving up to 5th. He's hopefully trying to see if he can find somebody to work with him here, and gives a huge shove. Yancey sees it, blocked.
Yeah, Yancey not going to be able to completely block the run. He blocks it just for now, but they're still working together. Now help from Christopher Bassinger. Will Yancey help once he gets there? Zach Michaelis goes low that entire high side, now losing speed. Connor Gibson, he wants to go high. Nick still trying to stay out there. Michaelis also looks to go high, but stays low.
Boy, you got to feel the heartbreak from Nickerson. Knows he's trying to help work with everybody to get up to the front, but everybody seems to be blocking this guy out. Once again, Nick Nickerson finds himself behind Connor Gibson, and he cannot seem to get this guy away from him. 3 wide here, heading into the next turn, taking a quick peek. Finally squeaking through is going to be Michael Ramos to get out of there, but still holding just barely a fender. Zach Michaelis to his outside.
Yeah, Nick finally getting around Connor Gibson. Connor Gibson just moving towards the back, not where he needs to be. Now on the bumper of Zach Michaelis. Will he be able to work a little bit better with Zach Michaelis? As Zach now almost gets to the fender of the second place car of Josh McQuiggan. Josh McQuiggan is just being very patient behind that 99 car, just chilling and hanging out there, but Curtis Yancey wants to move. He's been pushing Josh McQuiggan, but Josh McQuiggan has not been pushing that 99 car of Brandon Jackson.
Game cat and mouse has begun. Brandon Jackson leading the race here as he's got 4 hungry drivers sitting behind him that are within striking distance. Huge shove by Yancey, sending the 19. Can't pass below the line. Yancey's going to dump him.
There he goes in front of the field. Caution flag is out.
Driver caught in it, Brett Guzik.
Bad move by Curtis Yancey, it seemed to be.
Yancey dropping off the field here. We're not biased, but I would be really surprised to see F51 not get black flagged here for that one. We would have to show viable evidence of him getting bumped out of line and shoved down to the bottom to turn our second place driver around here. As Josh McQuiggan's got to keep a decent head on his shoulders here. I do not believe the Kelly Blue Book Ford has taken a fast repair, but he is definitely holding on. Right now, as we're checking in on the radio here, Harkins finally rejoining back in. Might be able to take a peek and see what happens. Boy, RC's going to have his hands full with this next call. Let's take a look. Right now, I want to keep an eye here on McQuiggan. McQuiggan there. Whoop, and he hooks him right there. As McQuiggan tries to straighten it out, Yancey comes back on and catches him.
Back into the rest of the field. Bam!
Matt Crockett as well. Boy,
Not the day Matt Crockett wanted, especially towards the middle half of this race. He was up front. He was leading laps every now and then, I believe. So now a couple laps down, taken out once again.
Crazy, crazy turn of events. Fortunately, looks like the 19 machine still had the fast repair. Great time to use it. 9 to go. I think we'll be back under green with 7 to go, which is going to switch everything up. Would like to thank Perfect Shine Auto Spa here for our caution replay here of the night. As we got drivers starting to really guesstimate whether they're going to make it. The people that it helps, Chris Bassinger, who did not come down in pit, currently might be able to make it. This is going to be a couple extra laps here. that they may be able to make it on fuel. You can see him cutting down to the bottom.
Yeah, we saw Brandon Jackson doing that as well. Brandon Jackson's all the way down the bottom. Curtis Yancey as well. But something I'd like to point out, Brandon Jackson finished second in the last Atlanta race. He was up front all race last time as well. He's the one who pushed me to the win here at Atlanta. So he definitely knows what he's doing here. He knows his way around the track. Sorry, not Atlanta, Echo Park Super Speedway.
We'll say it wasn't Atlanta when you won it.
That is true. That's a good point.
Echo Park just taking over here this year. And they are getting ready to double stack again. Michael Ramos to the inside. Brandon Jackson chooses outside. Right now, it's going to depend a lot on this restart of the inside line. Interesting choice here by Brandon Jackson to take the outside line that does not seem to be getting any traction out there, as this track tends to continue to wear in and rubber up here. Favorite to win is Nick Nickerson. He'll be starting down here in the 5th position.
He might be the favorite to win, but is he your favorite to win? Who do you think is going to win?
No idea. I think Brandon Jackson's going to do whatever it takes to win this one. He doesn't want to be the bridesmaid anymore. He wants to go home with the whole thing this time.
Oh, yeah. I think Brandon Jackson is our winner for sure. As long as he doesn't get taken out here, I think he knows what to do. I think he has the right skill set. I think he has what it takes to bring it home. He has to just put himself in the right position.
But with the track configuration changing, this is unlike Talladega, where Talladega, you're a dead man if you're in first. There's no way. You've got to be sitting 3rd, 4th, and then try to sling by around the last turn, around that dog leg. Here, we've narrowed the track. We've almost turned it into a D shape, and now we're going to try to have these guys duke it out here at the end. So a 7-lap shootout is what we're going to be looking for here. Ramos, Brandon Jackson. Right now, Ramos trying to check up, as right now the 99 machine of Brandon Jackson did not go.
Still had a better start than Ramos.
Ramos ready to go. He was hard on the gas early, and Brandon Jackson maintained speed. Keep an eye, as RC, I'm sure, is watching that replay to see if there's any trouble from the restart from the 99. If he slows down during the restart, he will be black flagged and sent to the back of the field. Brandon Jackson, I guarantee you, had that thing set on cruise control as he shoots past the line this time at 184 miles an hour. Ramos behind him, Adam Tahan 3rd, Nickerson holding on to 4th, and Nickerson's in trouble.
Sideways out of turn number 2. He's going to be able to save it. More contact. Once again, will he save it? Yes, he will. Nick Nickerson going to save it sideways all the way through turns number 1 and 2. Held it together. No caution.
Nickerson
still battling for the lead.
Hanging on there. Doing a great job not getting a favorable caution that he would have prayed for there, and is not going to get one, but time is still out there. Currently, we are still single file. Jackson, Ramos, Tahan, Bassinger now, and now Zach Michaelis. Currently, Curtis Yancey is taking a peek from the outside of the top 5. No longer outside line for Yancey. He's going to have some help behind him. Connor Gibson and, yes, Eddie Hagee. Gibson goes ahead.
Eddie Hagee goes around.
Ooh.
Will he save it? Into the outside wall he goes. Oh.
Who was that
there
spinning?
He is. That was David Lakey who went around.
Car broken down on the track. No caution. Car slinging by him.
Still no caution. Everyone very spread out. Brandon Jackson still your leader. Michael Ramos right behind him. Christopher Bassinger looks high. He's going to have help from the 51 car of Curtis Yancey. Curtis Yancey looks low. Brett Guzik looks even lower. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Still 3 wide heading into turn number 1. Brett Guzik with a run all by himself. He's going to look to the outside of Michael Ramos with help from Eddie Hagee now down the back straightaway. Brandon Jackson still your leader. No one can quite get around him. I think Michael Ramos is just waiting for his time. He's got help from Zach Michaelis just in case he wants to go.
Boy, a lot of guys have been shuffling around out here and moving up to the front. Guzik wishes he was on the lead lap here. Ramos, where did he go? Ramos, disconnection at the worst time. Down and out. Curtis Yancey now to 3rd.
3 wide down the back straightaway, this time by Brett Guzik with help from Eddie Hagge on the outside. Connor Gibson pushing the 51 and Christopher Bassinger pushing the 12. The 99 car still up in the lead. No one can get around him. Sideways down the front straightaway. Curtis Yancey and Connor Gibson go around, but it's the white flag. It doesn't matter. The white flag came out. Brandon Jackson still your leader. Christopher Bassinger behind. Zach Michaelis. Christopher's going to be able to catch down the back straightaway. He's going to need his help from Christopher Bassinger to the bumper of Zach Michaelis to get around him heading into turns number 3 and 4. Zach Michaelis looks high. Brett Guzik gets to the bottom. Big shove to Zach Michaelis. No one can get around Brandon Jackson. They all go low. Brandon Jackson, your winner here at Echo Park Super Speedway in the Bandit Racing League. I told you he'd be able to do it.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson doing a heck of a job there. Zach Michaelis finishing in second. Eddie Hagge getting a little help and some draft assistance there by Brett Guzik. Guzik wishes he was on that lead lap as he was unable to get around or recover. Thank you again by Apex Sim Racing for bringing our last lap sponsor here tonight. Brandon Jackson, not second. He's going to be in the number 1 spot. Michaelis, not bad here. The Coca-Cola machine, early wreck in the race, has come back and been able to come away with a podium position tonight. What a job here as Brandon Jackson, not pitting since lap number 89, had enough fuel to make it, and he is going to enjoy his burnouts here. Robin Allen out there saying his Action Jackson out there. Getting to it. Currently, let's see our unofficial results here of the night as things get crazy out there on the track. RC, and they will definitely crunching down on this. Wow. 10 drivers made it to the lead lap. Very, very close here. Very, very close. Excellent job here by all our drivers, and right now, sending the tires away is Brandon Jackson. And we'll definitely reel in our top 3 drivers and have a conversation about this. And we will be back with you guys in one moment. Hang in there and we'll be right back.
LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
All right, everybody, catching up with our third place finisher, Eddie Hagge. Boy, tons of trouble out here in the race, coming in third. Talk to me about how in the world you come back from ending up in trouble on lap number 10, but bringing it home here on lap 135.
Yeah, the EP Wealth Advisors Camaro was really good. We struggled with a lot of damage and trying to fix everything. Fixing damage really until the last few laps of the race. But just kind of stayed resilient, didn't want to burn my fast repair. Got a chance to put tires on with 10 to go and got up there. I wish I had a couple more laps. I really thought I could win the race, but the runs just stall out here, and it's really hard to pass. So grateful for a good finish.
Boy, a lot of panic time for a lot of drivers out here that had hammered off that outside wall. We saw you greeted a couple of times. What in the world was going on with the track? Was it just rubbering up too much and cars getting loose here at Echo Park?
Yeah, the track's tight. I mean, it's kind of like the exit of 3 and 4 at Texas where the wall juts out a little bit. It's also very difficult. I think guys were struggling because the lanes aren't as defined as they are at Talladega and Daytona. So in the turns and on the backstretch, you have the little lane markers. It's easy to see. But when you go through the tri-oval, it's blocky like a regular mile and a half. So it's really hard to have a consistent line, and you get guys kind of crashing into each other and then going up in the wall. It's pretty tight, and the next gen cars are really bulky and wide, and I don't know. It makes for some tight racing and a lot of scratching the wall.
All right, I love how you bring up tight racing. We're heading to short tracks here in the next couple of weeks. 1 mile, the Monster Mile, there at Dover. Confidence level heading into the Concrete Mile, and talk to me about your sponsors here, and let's get you ready for that track.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. Really excited to go to Dover. It's been a good track for me and my team. Was racing my man Jackson there for the win a couple years ago. But yeah, really grateful for my sponsors, EP Wealth Advisors, Magothy HR Consulting. They've been great partners. Thankful to my family, friends, the Lord. Thankful to Bill and you guys for putting on a great show. I've had a lot of podiums lately. We're trying to get back in victory lane. Hopefully it happens soon.
All right, Eddie Haggy, I think you're due, buddy. Maybe one of these ones will be next. Something tells me Bristol's got your name on it. Eddie Haggy, good luck to you, buddy.
Thank y'all. Y'all take it easy.
Yep. All right, Eddie Haggy getting it squared away as we run into Zach Michaelis. Jackson, knock.
I think he sneezed or something there. But yeah, Jackson Knock, that is me. I'm going to take control of the booth. Zach Michaelis, up in the booth, you got me.
I got you guys.
Yeah, Zach, you were really fast all day. There wasn't a single time when you weren't pretty much, in the top 5, in the top 10. Pretty good all day. Can't think of any major incidents that you were a part of. Kept it fairly clean. Did you even use your fast repair?
Somehow no. I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was like 3 or 4 wrecks there that I don't exactly know how I made it through because I had my eyes closed, honestly. I was just kind of driving by prayer, but I honestly don't know how I'm sitting here P2 today. I should have been wrecked many times, and running that second lane up, the car just gets so loose after a few laps, and that last run there, I thought I was gonna either not make it on fuel because I was half a gallon short till that caution, or once it was go time, I was stuck on that high side and I wasn't just gonna be able to make it and spin out. I didn't want to be that guy, so luckily I got to the bottom, but just didn't quite have the gap to get underneath Jackson for the win. But it was a good race all in all. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, tell me about that. On the bottom lane, it seemed to be very tight all night long. You're on a little bit fresher tires than towards the end there than you were in the middle of the race when everyone was sliding up. But tell me about how difficult that was, especially running in a pack when you were 2 to 3 wide, just staying in your lane on the bottom.
It's pretty hard with this new update. You get pretty big aero wash in the middle of the corner. It's kind of weird. You're loose on entry, and then once you hit the middle of the corner, it just starts pushing tight. So you kind of enter in with a pretty decent lift and then just kind of carry it and slowly add throttle as you go. And I found once I did that, I was saving tires, keeping heat down, and I'm able to keep it on exit on the line, whereas others would kind of slide up, and I'm able to pick them off one by doing that.
Yeah, you're running real fast. I saw you get to the inside a couple times. Next week, we are looking at Dover as well as Bristol ahead of that. Tell me about your short track game and how you think you're going to do at Dover.
Well, I like me some concrete and I like me some tire wear, so I think it's going to be a few good weeks.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. You got any sponsors or shout outs for us?
Yeah, Team Composite Performance as always for letting me hop over here and do this fun little racing, and to our sponsors, P1Docs.com, Grid Engineering, and SimLab for all their continued support.
Well, great running out there, and I'm excited to see what you can do at Dover on the concrete in the Monster Mile next week.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's Zach Michaelis Jackson. I ended up choking on my own spit, dude. That is ridiculous. All right, let's go
It's
ahead
kinda
and
funny.
catch. Yeah, let's go ahead and catch on Brandon Jackson, and let's see if he can try to keep it PG this time. Because last time I talked to this guy, that was so excited, I think he started cussing me out here on the on the broadcast. All right, Brandon Jackson, the '99 Ford. Well, yep, a Mustang made it into victory lane here. Talk to me about how we fight through the back and all the way back up to the front multiple times.
God, ooh, almost got you, man. What a
Gosh dang.
race! What a race! Oh my God! All right, I don't even know where to start. We man, the first before the stage, I was just trying to hang around in the back, kind of get a good feel for how the car was going to drive. And towards the end of the stage, I just completely backed off. I'm not here all season. I don't have no right or reason to be up here fighting for points with these guys, so let them have at it. And then after the stage, I was like, let's try to get up to the front and see what we can do, see how the car is going to react. Trying to push and get everything. It was going good. And then it wasn't. And then I was in the wall on 3 and 4. And then I was harder in the wall down the front straightaway. So that wasn't in the plans. And then I had to fight back through that, get back on the lead lap, and somehow get back to the front. And I stayed there this time without getting turned.
Dude, but is there any right side of your car left?
Man, I hit that hurt. That hurt real good. That one hurt pretty good. I'm pretty sure the toe was and the suspension was so bent that it was turning itself in the corner.
Oh, sweet. Well, I tuned in during practice. You had practiced that earlier, is to bend the suspension and see what it would do damage. So apparently this was all part of the plan.
Hey, don't tell all my secrets, man. Golly.
Guys cheating.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Grip hack. All right. Well,
No.
Dude, so we finally come away. So supposedly you came in second, pushing this guy here next to me into the winner's circle, but this time you do it yourself. How nervous were you when you had drivers like Eddie Hagge, Nick Nickerson, and a lot of these guys battling next to you? I mean, Curtis Yancey, this dude was on fire all night, but I think he just, a couple of choices that he made took himself out, and even Kevin Foster was up there. I mean, did you think you had this in the bag?
I did not. I will go ahead and tell you right now, probably the last 7 laps, my eyes were glued to the mirror. I did not once look out the windshield. And I think Brett was really my saving grace, because with them being 3 wide, that stalled the run for everybody for like a good handful, like 2-3 laps, I think it was. And then by the time Zach was able to get clear, coming to 1 to go, unless he had major help pushing him out back, once we got halfway down the back, I was like, yeah, he has no chance, absolutely no chance to get around. So it was a bit worrisome, And before we had that caution come out around like 15, 12 to go, boys, I was looking kind of close on gas. I was gonna be putting here around if we went green, but that caution really helped, saved me a lot. And yeah, so a couple things didn't go our way, and then did go our way, and somehow found myself doing donuts at the end of it.
Awesome. All right, 2 concrete tracks are next. Dover, Bristol. I'm not even going to ask you how you feel about Dover, because right now you're going to be feeling great after this win, but your choice between the 2, which one are you more excited about?
Give me Dover, baby. Give me Dover, baby. I ran good last year. Ben just outdrove me, saved more tires than me last season, so I got a bone to pick with him about that, but it was me and him out there in front last season at Dover. Bristol, she's a Coliseum for a reason, so I'm gonna have to get a sword and shield out for that one.
Awesome.
But I feel pretty good on these contracts. On these
Yeah.
concrete tracks. I feel really good. We all gotta get used to these new tires that we got, so that'll be a big learning curve. But feeling pretty good, feeling pretty stubborn. Feel like there's a butt kicking that needs to come out here soon for me.
All right. Well, shout out time.
Oh man, first thing, got to shout out everybody watching, man. We do this for ourselves, man. We'd like to put on a good show for y'all, and I think tonight was a pretty decent show, one of our better ones of the season. Gotta thank y'all for putting on the show, having everybody at home relaxing, enjoying the show, and just all the drivers. Shout out Joshua McQuiggan, not really teammates, but he He reached out to me halfway into the race and said, if you want to work together, we can go ahead. Everybody kind of knows I'm a bit of a lone wolf when it comes to racing, especially at speedway, super speedway style tracks. But it's nice to have a little bit of help here and there. So, yeah, I mean that's really about it, man. I do want to say
Sponsor on the
I
clock.
beat all y'all's favorite race car drivers tonight.
Oh yeah.
What if you're my favorite race car driver?
Oh, if I am your favorite race car driver, well, you picked a damn good one.
No, you're not.
Oh,
What in the world is going on here? Oh my gosh. All right, Brandon Jackson, looks like you're starting to tweak out there, bro. I'm going to let you go. Congratulations on your win.
y'all have a good night.
You too. Good Lord, get him out of here. I stuck. Hey, Jackson, I stuck him with the GFR team.
Oh,
Here's a little
you're so
grenade
mean.
for him. There's a little one for him. All right, they're going to love it. All right, the Liquid Death 135 comes down to Brandon Jackson, Zach Michaelis, and Eddie Haggy. What a job these guys did, and definitely what a battle it was. I mean, we are 3 wide out here. We had a few cautions here and there. We had guys that were driving hard, trying to come up with positions. We had guys who thought we were going to be super fast and actually be a huge part of this race, and then were unfortunately wiped out very, very early. I mean, guys like Brett Guzik, Benjamin Lacey, I mean, just crazy right now to see how they ended up finishing, which is oddly enough exactly what happens at a super speedway track, but not next week. We'll be seeing you guys at Dover, and that is going to be an exciting one, and then after that, Bristol. All right, Jackson, anything left to add here, buddy?
Well, you know what? We saw a lot of good racing today. We saw a lot of white knuckle racing. They were driving real hard. I think we're going to see the exact same thing at Dover. Last time we were able to get pretty spread out at Dover. I think I almost won at Dover as well. So that was pretty cool. But I did good at Atlanta, and then I did good at Dover, and then Bristol. So maybe if Brandon Jackson did good at Atlanta, he'll do good at Dover, and he'll do good at Bristol too.
Oh boy. All right, so you're going to be rooting on the 99. All right, everybody, appreciate you guys hanging out with us here at SimTrax Broadcasting, bringing you the Bandit Racing League. All the way until next Wednesday is when I will see you guys, unless you tune in to the NSR series that will be coming up on Saturday. But until then, be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.